not only in being finished, but also in being done. Tonight, I'd like to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the RESPEK Awards. Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. As I said, what an episode. Underground is such an amazing show. I'm going to go over some stuff. I have some notes, but this show obviously is going to be nominated for a lot of awards and it's going to win a lot of awards. But as I said, I want to be able to give Underground its first award, and that is the RESPEK Award. So I'm going to tell you who the RESPEK Award goes to, which character got it, and for what reason. But first, let's do a little recap. Like I said, I can't do everything that happened in the episode. I might have to do a separate video, and I'm going to post some of my videos that I didn't post before on Underground reviews. But yeah, let's just hop into it. So we start off with my all-time favorite, Ernistine, with the prayer of St. Francis. And the prayer involves a lot of peace and love, replace hatred with peace or love, stuff like that. And it was never a doubt in my mind that after Macon lynched Sam, that Ernestine regulate. She was gonna do something and she was gonna make it count. I was pretty sure that that Ernestine was gonna retaliate on Macon, and it wasn't gonna be pretty. And so first, before I get into Ernestine's storyline, I'm gonna do my own highlights of this episode. And like I said, everybody's gonna get something different from this episode. I'm not gonna include everything in one 10-minute video. But yeah, so let's get to the monologue of the century. And so outside of Ernestine, Rosalee and Noah are continuing on their journey on the Underground Railroad, and they come into contact with Elizabeth and John. But they come up with a plan to create a distraction so that Boo or Rosalee can get to freedom, because Noah and Elizabeth have discussed, and also Noah and Rosalee have discussed, we're not free until we're all free. And well, before I get to the monologue, I thought it was a really, after the love scene with Noah and Rosalee, I think he kind of went back to his original idea, because in the first episode, Noah said, something I noticed about all these people who've gotten caught, all these slaves who've gotten caught, is they have always been alone. So if we put together a team, perhaps we can make it to freedom. So I think his original intent to have a team to work together, basically a Noah's Ark of sorts. You had one of each personality. You had Rosalee and her cunning and her optimism. You had Cato and his type of cunning, cutthroatedness, and everyone's part, even Henry, everyone's personality and strengths played into where they are right now. Even though everyone didn't make it, everybody brought something to the table that was essential to them getting to freedom, like Noah said. But he was thinking about, just surviving is not freedom. And that goes back to the themes that they had with Sam when he had that heartbreaking exchange with Ernestine. And, she said, oh, you might survive this. And he said, that's what I'm afraid of. Simply surviving is not living. And surviving can't be all that you live for. You want to live. You want to have freedom. You don't want to just survive. So with that theme, I think Noah was like, we've been so cutthroat just for our freedom. And even just the freedom of the immediate people around him in his team is not enough. So he wanted to go back and say, him and Rosalee decided, we're not free until we're all free. They go to the marshal's office, and Noah holds it up, and like I said, goes into the monologue of the century. After one of the people in the marshal's office asked him, like, what do you want? He's like, I want a lot of things. I want to be able to do a long day's work and get a full day's pay. I want to be able to be counted. It was just, I have the words, but it gets a lot of feel. Like, you feel a monologue like that. I could read it, but everybody probably feels something from it. he said, "It's our hands that built this country. Our blood runs through the heart of it. We keep it beating." I mean, I was watching that and just like, I don't know, it just one of the things in his monologue, we're still striving to get equal pay as African Americans and get a full day's work, and that's something that has always captivated me about Underground, is their ability to not only reveal some of the more depraved parts of slavery, not only the physical abuse, but the emotional and psychological abuse, but their ability to draw parallels between then and now and reveal some of the residue through those parallels. So revealing some of the residue of slavery, well, not only the animosity between house and field slave, but also their evaluation of white people as, you know, just innocent bystanders in slavery. Like, no, you have a whole host of Tom Macon's predicament is very telling of some allies that we have now, where, you know, he's very much so participating in the institution of oppression and slavery because he benefits from it, but he still wants to be liked by the people by the black people around him. He still wants to manipulate the optics so he doesn't look as bad, but he most definitely is a terrible person. So we follow Ernestine through this episode. It starts off with her saying the prayer Francis like before, and you know, something I really don't want to hear is how much Sam's lynching affected Macon. Okay, like that's the last thing I wanted to hear. Like you know what? Every time I even see Macon, it makes my skin crawl. But the last thing I really want to hear about is how bad Macon feels about Sam's lynching. And so he's going on about how, like, oh, I can't even eat or sleep, like I feel nothing, which I think is important. He said he feels nothing. That's not what you say about like, you feel nothing. So even in his saying that he felt so bad about Sam, he still said he felt nothing, which I think is still something of note. And I think that maybe that goes to the performative sorrow of Macon. He's always been an expert at manipulating the optics behind the terrible things that he does. Like, he is very much so in control. You know, like I said before, I said it in a previous video, he's always pulling the strings. So even when the overseers are beating the slaves, and he had a conversation with Cato where he said, you know, you have to rule with like a heavy hand and stuff like that. So the slaves might be, the slaves might say, oh, Cato is just a really terrible person, but you know, Macon always gives me a smile when he comes by. Even viewer reactions to Macon is to sometimes give him the benefit of the doubt. There is no good side to Macon. He is a terrible person. He just is good. He's a good manipulator. He wants to be liked, but it isn't for the sake of the slave's well-being. And so he can sleep better at night. As long as everybody's smiling, it doesn't even matter if it's genuine. He isn't reminded of the terrible things that he does. But like I said with Cato, he had a conversation with Cato where, you know, he gave him like a bottle of whiskey for his trouble, for his promotion to overseer or what have you. And he still told Cato, like, torture the crap out of the slaves on the field. But he's able to be he's able to tell Cato to do this, but he's able to be away from it in a way that makes him seem like he's not as bad as he actually is. There is nothing good about Macon. Macon is trash. But I could go on forever about, like, every time I see Macon, it makes my skin crawl. But yeah, he's on his knees in front of Ernestine, like, begging, and like, I can't with Macon. Like, he does not love Ernestine. I just feel like you can't love a piece of property. You can't love something that you can sell. She doesn't have control over her body. Like, even if Ernestine said no, they have this like weird, not even BDSM, because in BDSM you have to have 2 consenting adults. You can't be a consenting person if you're property. If you're seen as property. She doesn't have control of her body in a way that if she said no, that she could actually say no. If Macon wants something from Ernestine, he can take it. He can sell her up the river. But yeah, so Macon is talking about how terrible he feels. And that goes into that. Ernestine comes up and hears a conversation between Macon and James. And James is asking about Sam, like, oh, where's Sam? And Macon just says, he said, well, where do you think Sam is? And James explains to him that his mother, Ernestine, said that Sam was in the town, up in the city or in the town, making furniture for the rich white folks. And he said, well, I bet he's working really hard. And Ernestine is listening in on all this with a wooden horse, I believe, that Sam made. And I'm guessing it's a toy for James. And yeah, Macon is saying, oh yeah. And he said, well, if I work, can I go to the city and make furniture for them too? And Macon is just like, yeah, if you just see it in your mind's eye, you can do whatever you want. Let's remember, I want to reiterate the trash that Macon is, because Sam was the one who tried to buy James's freedom. James, Macon's son, because Macon promised Sam that if one day, if he saw it in his mind's eye and worked hard enough, James will be able to buy his own freedom. So in that heartbreaking scene a few episodes back, said, hey, I have all this money, you said one day I could buy my freedom, but I don't want to buy my freedom. He couldn't even make good on that promise. So Ernestine is realizing, and something that has been central to Ernestine's character is as long as her kids are good, she's fine. She's done everything she could. She killed Pearly May. She did everything so that her children would be secure, so that her children could be safe. That was the only semblance of control that she had, was over her kids and their safety. Rosalee has run away. Sam has gotten lynched. James has been sent in the field by Macon, who promised her that he would not be in the fields. So her world is crumbling, and I feel that she is also, like, her notions of respectability and her notions of safety and her security in the assertions of safety that Macon has made to her are like crumbly. She doesn't see it. Like, she knows now this is not true.